All right. So why don't we start with Abhishek? Um, so Dennis assigned you a factum task for you to work on. Is Abhishek
Yes,
here?
yes, I am.
Yes.
Yes, I'll
Uh,
be starting with that. As per the bugs, right? I have put a comment. Maybe I'm not able to see your screen. It's a blank screen.
uh, can anyone else see my screen, the Jira board?
Yep.
Okay,
Okay.
maybe mine should. So as per that bug, I have put a comment. It's working fine whenever you pass a key with that accumulate part, you get a proper result.
So, can you describe the problem again?
Uh, right. So you posted that, right? The bug yesterday, which we were seeing. So even after that, passing the token issuer account, right? It was throwing error. But whenever a token issuer account is passed with the key, after that it returns a proper error message telling that token issuer account can't send a token to an ADI account.
Okay. I think, well, let's talk about that offline because I don't know if that quite. You should be able to. I mean, if you create a token issuer and you create an ADI token account that can accept the custom token, I don't think we've had a problem with that custom token account receiving the token from the token issuer.
So by functionality, I think a token account should first issue an account to a normal ADI token account. Then only an ADI token account can send a transfer to a normal ADI token account.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about this offline and work through it.
Sure.
All right. And then there's this task which Dennis created yesterday. Load factum addresses to Genesis block. Dennis, do you want to just give a quick description of the purpose of this task?
Yes, we want to get the all the piping set up so that we can set the initial balances of all the factoid holders to have acne in them. So this task will lay the groundwork for that. We're using a snapshot of factum that Stephen Masley put together for this task.
Yeah, and then I assume we'll take the official snapshot close to mainnet and then update the balances.
Yeah, so whatever the last block of factum will be, we'll take another snapshot and then use this algorithm to seed the Genesis.
Perfect. Light authority for key needs to support BC. Okay, so that's that. Who else do we have on the call? So I guess Dennis, this needs to be reviewed by someone.
Yeah, that's ready for review. It's a big change to the CLI.
Okay. Big change in terms of the way that actions will be constructed.
In a sense, yeah. So the user will have the ability to create encrypted wallets and be able to import unencrypted wallets to make them encrypted. So
okay,
there's going to be some application things that we need to address here too.
Okay, so yeah, whatever tasks you believe should come out of this, why don't we talk offline and we can add those. All right, so yeah, I guess Paul, if you have time to review this, that would be great. I'll send you a link.
All right.
Ethan, you got a couple things in your review. Remove synthetic receipts. All right. Okay, there's that bug. Don't use it. We don't need to. Okay. So I guess Dennis or Paul, if you're able to review these, assuming that the builds are passing. And then Ethan, you explain this task real quick, pending delegated transactions.
Delegated transactions, or signing a transaction with the delegated authority works, but if you try to do it with a multi-sig key book or key page, it does not work.
Gotcha. Okay. So that would be a key book that's specifying another key book's URL, but the page has like 2 of 3, and there's another key in the page.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. Synthetic transaction sequence numbers. So which of the tasks in to-do will you work on next?
I can't see your screen right now. Would you list them out?
The synthetic transaction sequence numbers, pending delegated transactions, and then set up CI to run validation on the merge result. Did we get GitLab Premium?
Last I checked, we do not.
Okay.
I think the synthetic transaction sequence numbers are probably the most urgent at this point.
Yeah, I would agree. All right, that sounds good. Let's go to Mr. Jotten. Create data count. I think this was passing. Good. And we have move transaction status to the principal. So yeah, this is for the BPT.
That last one, I think, the move transaction status of the principal, I think Paul and I have decided we don't need it.
Okay.
That's, yeah, it's.
OBE.
Sure.
All right.
That might be something we want to clean up post-launch, but it's
What is
significant matter.
this one?
It's the one where we change what key the transaction status is stored under so that it looks more like it's part of the account. And we don't really need that because we can just decide that conceptually it is under the account and treat it that way without actually changing the key that it's stored under.
Okay.
Do you want to move it to just like 1.0 cleanup, just so the task still exists, or?
Yeah, I think I'd prefer that.
All right, so let me put it into the backlog and do. All right. Take it out of the sprint. All right, so then you have require proof of external dependencies when executing certain operations. Okay. I guess, Jotten, have you spoken to Ethan about this task yet?
Yes, I've been looking into the code. So I'll commit something, then I'll talk to Ethan.
All right.
And in 1323, I have answered the comments which were given by Ethan.
Yep.
And added new validation. So I guess it is also passing.
Perfect.
If we can take a look at this, then maybe this can be done.
Okay. So yeah, Ethan, if you could merge us one today, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'll review it again.
Okay. Mr. Paul Snow. Did you address Ethan's comments?
No, I don't think I did. What I was working, or maybe I have, I don't know, but not in the document. But or maybe I did. I don't know what I did with the document. What I have been doing is working towards the BPT update to meet the requirements that we know we need. And once I've completed that, I think that's what we're going to end up having done for 1.0. We'll actually worry about moving. Ethan and I will talk about what to do next, I guess. But the biggest problem is that it changes all my tests, and so I've had to fix billions of tests. Well, maybe not billions, but every test that's in the BPT.
And I know that I talked to Ethan yesterday and put a message in Discord of how necessary the DSN is for mainnet, and if the BVNs could, process high enough TPS, that might be fine. Paul, what are your thoughts on that? I think Paul's muted.
My point is essentially that we don't need the DSN for launch, but we need to have the core protocol parts that will go along with it for launch.
Yeah, that's why I was saying what we do after this is up for discussion. There are certain things that are very difficult to do across multiple networks, particularly asking for a transaction by its hash ends up being a network-wide search.
Mm-hmm.
And so let's revisit this, or Ethan and I will come up with a minimum set of tasks.
Okay. Very good. And then you're doing the routing locations. That's good. Is Pablo here?
Yes, sure I am.
Hello, Mr. Pablo.
Yeah,
So we're
mainly with this one, I'm done. Like, not full. I'm done with tests, but there is a problem with how we operate and how we generate key and how we validate signature type. So we cannot get error and cannot get when we use flag signature type. We in any case will get signature created. It will be just by default 519. So I think this part should be like a new task based on this, and if we will need to change it, we can do it.
and the new task would be what would the new task be exactly?
Catch if flag of unassigned or unsupported type of signature is passed.
Okay. Why don't you? Would you be able to create that task, and then we can? I mean, it might be better to.
I can write it in comment here what I mean.
Yeah, that'd be great. And
Okay,
then
sure. And I'm already starting working with next task and moving this one to review.
the performance analysis.
Yeah, we'll have some questions. We'll ask them in Discord.
Sounds good. All right, and then we have Sander manage credits. So was there some sort of conclusion as to whether the light identity can sign because it holds the credits, or the light token account's still going to be able to sign, or?
What I want to do is both.
Is
Because
both?
it's relatively easy to rewrite so if the user signs with the light token account, it's pretty easy to rewrite that to the light identity.
Yeah.
So for the sake of backwards compatibility, I want to support both. But from the protocol perspective, the actual signer will be the light identity.
Okay. So the light token account will then just reference the light identity's credits when it's signing.
Sure. I mean, it's basically like the user says, I'm going to sign with my light token account, and the protocol says, okay, but actually I'm going to use the light identity instead of the token account.
Yep. Very good. Okay. So Sanders, does that change your task, or is
I
that
already pushed commits to Sanders branch that should do what I want.
Yes, and I resolved some minor suggested changes today. So it's, yeah, I think almost ready then.
sounds good? All right. Explicitly flag validator keybooks. Validator to keybook. So this is okay. So it's for the BVNs and DN.
Yeah, I'm working on getting the merge request finished. I will continue that after dinner.
Nice. Hope you have a nice dinner. And then we have create the operator keybooks. So are we calling them validators or operators?
There are two sets of people. There's the overall set of everybody who is qualified and
That's
they're real operators or whatever, and then there's a set of nodes run by those people that are voting. So I have been calling the larger set the operators and the subset for any particular subnet the validators. We can, the names are not important. I mean, picking good names is important, but the actual names I don't super duper care about. That's just operator and validator is just what I've been using in my head.
Not all operators are validators, but all validators are operators.
Correct.
Cool. All right. Very good.
And the set of validators will probably change over time.
Yeah.
And once the long-term plan is that the set of validators will automatically randomly shift.
Correct. And then Denny and Ethan, have you guys spoken about major blocks for the Rosetta API?
Not yet. Ethan, like if you are free sometime today, we can connect on the part. Had a few more other questions on the Rosetta. We can connect and I can get more information on those things.
Are they questions that you can ask through Discord?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So yeah, I guess Ethan, if you could send me that command for the authorities, that'd be great. Other than that, great work, everybody, and have a nice rest of your day. Sayonara.
Thanks very much.